Hello everyone, welcome to the Geekdom, the place where we outcast come to talk about the things we love, and today we're talking Daredevil. I have a brand new custom set for you today. This is the Nelson and Murdock modular build. I am so pleased with this set, I cannot wait to show you. It's been a really interesting project, so let's just jump right in. The set has 2 buildings and 2 floors and just a buttload of minifigures. So we're going to start with the minifigures first because that's just the most exciting bit. Yo people, I just want to pause for a moment, tell you to subscribe. Okay, we're doing so well on the subscribers. It's brilliant. We're just growing and growing, and it's making me just so happy. I'm so thankful for all of you. But if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. Make me happy. Yeah, and if you have any friends who haven't subscribed, come on, tell them to subscribe as well. Also, we're branching out further and further all the time. So the Instagram and TikTok are becoming a bit more active at the minute. I recently did a poll on both of them for like what set you want to come first, and this Daredevil set won over Batman, which was surprising. I kind of expected Batman to come first, but yeah. So if you ever want a bit more input on what happens on the channel, go and follow those if you have TikTok or Instagram. The links will be in the description. But yeah, just subscribe. So this set includes Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Foggy Nelson, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Electra, a few hand ninjas, and Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin himself. First up, we have Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson. The owners of Nelson and Murdock, just the heart and soul of the Daredevil show. It's just, I love these guys so much. Their relationship in the comics is just brilliant. And I'm really pleased with these figures. Now, in the Lego Marvel modular sets we've got so far, they often include just some kind of basic civilians, often just using reused prints and stuff. So I didn't want the civilian characters in this set to be too detailed or whatever. So I've just gone for some basic suit prints and then very plain legs and arms. They're nothing too special. Matt Murdock has obviously got his round red glasses. They look great. He's got a bit of stubble on his He's got a bit of stubble on his face there, which you'll see again in the Daredevil figure shortly. And he's using that Han Solo hair in ginger, which I think is just the perfect Matt Murdock hair. I love that look for him. And Foggy Nelson, same again, with just a very plain suit, plain arms, plain legs. But he's got a custom face print. Obviously, we've got a little bit of chub on there for Foggy, and he's also using the that new hairpiece which came out in the K-pop set, which looks really cool. I really want to use that on a Robin someday because it's just the perfect Robin hair. But I thought it really worked for a comic book Foggy Nelson. Matt Murdock also comes with his cane in red. Now for Matt Murdock's alter ego, Daredevil, and in the Daily Bugle set we got the classic red look for Daredevil, and that minifigure is just, oh, beautiful. It's a fantastic minifigure. I love it so much. However, it was missing arm printing and it was missing leg printing, but the torso itself, fantastic. So what I've done here is I've made the Daredevil black suit, which is just one of the best Daredevil looks there is. I was torn between so many different looks for Daredevil, but I went with this one. And basically for the chest portion, it's very similar. It's pretty much the same printing as the Lego official one, but obviously I changed the colours to fit that black aesthetic, and it just looks so good. The red Daredevil logo really pops off the black, and it's really complemented by all of the arm and leg printing I put on there. The arms have that continued sort of scale texture that's on his sort of ab section, and then he's got some like red gloves with a bit of like it's almost like cloth wrapped around it. As well, on his leg, he's got that sort of that holster on his left leg for his batons, which I think looks really cool. And it's just an extra bit of red to make the figure really pop. He also has some red boots there with some very basic detailing. The head itself is also very similar to the Daredevil one, the one we got in the Daily Bugle. Obviously, it's been retooled, a bunch of the colours are different. The eyes are still that really beautiful red. But his face, as you can see, has that sort of stubble that I gave to Matt Murdock. And he's got a more angered expression than the one we got in the Daily Bugle. And then obviously he's got that wonderful horned piece in black. He also comes with 2 smaller red batons. Now there is another Daredevil figure, but we'll get to that very soon when we actually take a look at the set. The next member of the Defenders is Iron Fist. Now I think Iron Fist, I don't really know a great deal about the Defenders, but Iron Fist himself, his outfit is just awesome. The only Lego Iron Fist we've ever gotten was from Ultimate Spider-Man, and that figure sucked. That really sucked. So I've gone for a really classic comic book look for Danny Rand here, and he just looked great. He got a brand new custom mask piece. So that covers his eyes and stuff. Obviously, it's got that really nice sort of Spider-Man Deadpool-esque eye printing there, and that really bright yellow. But it's also got like a lovely sort of hair piece coming around the back. So it just adds a lot of layers to that. It's not just like he's put a bit of cloth over a minifigure head. It actually looks like he's put this mask over his regular hair. I hope to use this mold again soon, because if I ever actually do an MCU Daredevil, I would really like to do that black suit with just the cloth mask, and I will definitely use that piece for that. Underneath, he's got a very angered expression. Once again, he's got a bit of stubble, and then his torso is the classic comic book Iron Fist look. He's got that big dragon tattoo on his chest and those lovely green and yellow robes, and obviously he's got that belt sash, which is actually taken from the Lego Ninjago movie Lloyd minifigure, because that sash just really worked. His legs have got very minimal printing. Obviously you can see there he's got that sort of like those pants that kind of cut off at the shins, and he's wearing some very tiny yellow shoes like he does in the comics. The arms have no printing, but they are dual molded. They are in that green and obviously that nugget color. Absolutely love this guy. I really hope we get another Iron Fist in a set soon. I just wish that Mecha Bricks had the newer flame pieces so I could put those in his hands. Next up, we have Power Man Luke Cage in, once again, his classic vintage outfit. I love this guy. I'm using the same hairpiece I used for Miles Morales. I just think it really works for Luke Cage. The headpiece is a combination of a few things. We've got a bit of fin in there. We've got some Wonder Woman for that tiara. And then obviously his chest got that lovely like V shape with those exposed muscles underneath it. I tried to make Luke look as ripped as humanly possible, because I mean, he is Power Man. He's got that giant chain going across his belt, which I never really understood the purpose of, but you know, he's got it there and it looks great. His legs do have some printing, not very much, but they do have some printing. It's mostly just bits of yellow here, just to make the boots look a bit more textured, because he has those like very big boots on in the comics. His arms are very plain again, once again just yellow, but they do have these like chrome braces, also very Wonder Woman-esque, and they look really great. All the silver detailing I put into this figure is all chromed out. It's none of that like pearlescent. It's the actual full chrome, because I just think it makes the figure look brighter. It just gives a real shine to the figure. Next up is, I mean, one of the most boring figures in this set, and that's Jessica Jones. I know nothing about Jessica Jones. I only know what I've read from when I read Civil War and stuff, so I don't know a great deal. I'd say she's the least I know about all of the Defenders, but I still really like her concept. I like that she's like a private investigator sort of thing, and the minifigure was really easy for me to make, so that's always something I'm thankful for. I used a lot of assets from Nia from Ninjago, because she has that wonderful leather jacket piece, and then I just used some regular jeans, changed the colours about a bit, and gave her some big tactical boots, just to make the look a bit more, I don't know, just armoured, I guess. She seems like the kind of person who'd like to be equipped, so I gave her some big tactical boots, and the leather jacket looks great. The headpiece was actually assets from the Valkyrie minifigure, because I think it just has a very nice stoic headpiece, and I just changed that up to match Jessica Jones's vibe. And then I've just used that classic female hairpiece in black. Next up is a really cool figure that Lego would definitely not make, and that is Electra. Now, they may make an Electra one day, but just probably not in this outfit. It's a very revealing outfit, but it's Electra's kind of classic look, so I just had to make it. We'll start from the top and work our way down. She's got a brand new hairpiece with that sort of like bandana tied to the top of her head, which I think looks really cool. It just adds an extra bit of red, really makes the character pop. Moving down, she's got that very angry expression, once again using assets from Phoenix from the X-Men, the SDCC minifigure. And then moving down, she's got that cool, it's almost like kimono sort of ninja suit, which looks really great. I started as a base model with Nia, and then just worked my way up from there. As you can see, she's got that really cool like sash going around her chest, and that sort of darker red, just to vary the colours up a little bit. And then this is where Lego would stop making the figure, because it's kind of like a leotard. So it's showing a lot, you know, it's a very like revealing outfit. But moving down, she's got that sort of like cape that goes down the front like Ahsoka has, and then she's got some like leg sashes and stuff, and then those big red boots as well, obviously. Her arms are very covered in prints as well. Her left arm has a continuation on her shoulder of the actual red suit that she's wearing, and then the other one just has like a red sash, and obviously they're both wearing red gloves that are wrapped in these like red bandages as well. She also comes with two chrome sai, like the things that Raphael uses in the Ninja Turtles. They're just kind of her classic weapon, and I just couldn't leave them out. Once again, fully chromed out, just like Luke Cage. Now, Electra's arm prints are used again in this set, 3 times actually, because we have 3 of the same character. We've got Hand Ninja. Now, it's just kind of like an army builder sort of thing, just to fill the set out, give the Defenders a lot of things to fight. Starting from the top, we've got the Acronics and Crux mask piece, but just in a plain red, and underneath that is just kind of like a basic angry expression. A lot of this figure was taken from Ninjago because it's a ninja, you know. So his torso is like a retooled version of the Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu Cole, because it's just so similar to what we actually see the hand ninja wear. I love that. So I just changed the colors and reoriented the belts and stuff and the sash and all sorts. Just to make it a new figure, but it's still got that sort of classic ninja look. The sash is obviously in black, going from his hips onto his legs, and then he's also got those sort of like leg ties as well. And once again, his arms are Electra's arms, but in red. He's also wearing black gloves, and they all come with the Lloyd Ninja Sword. Final figure in this set is Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. Now, I said this in my previous video, I really want access to the Mr. Incredible mold for a bigger figure, because Kingpin is not a big fig, unless you're doing Spider-Verse. So, my only choice is massive big fig, which wouldn't look right, or regular minifigure scale. So I'm looking at it as more of a Vincent D'Onofrio style Kingpin. You know, he's just kind of like a regular guy. The idea for this minifigure was sort of like I wanted to include a few different like vibes of different Fisks we've gotten over time. So the head and stuff I kind of modeled after Vincent D'Onofrio, as well as just kind of having like a regular kind of plain suit. I wanted to go off Vincent D'Onofrio as well. But the color palette and the gold cane, like the purple and the gold, that is from my favorite like Spider-Man show, which was the 90s Spider-Man. This is the Kingpin I grew up with, so I just had to kind of pay homage to that in some way. So yeah, it's kind of like a combination of Vincent D'Onofrio and the 90s Spider-Man Wilson Fisk. Now everyone, that is all the minifigures for today. But you will see them dotted around in all the renders for the set. I've got them in some cool fighting poses. So let's just walk through the set now, and you guys can see these guys in the background. Okay, so taking a wide look, this is the whole set. Now, as you can see, it's got two buildings. We've got Fogwells Gym, and we've got Nelson and Murdock. Just a few exterior things that I want to point out before we take a look inside all the rooms and stuff. Obviously, up top, you'll notice that we've got that giant Vote for Fisk for Mayor billboard, which I modeled after. I found some billboards for Marvel Crisis Protocol, so I modeled it after that. Got a really nice image of the Kingpin up there, and I think it really fits the vibe that we're trying to go for here. The billboard looks great. It's using those scaffolding pieces as well as some 6x6 plates, and it's using those lights on top using flagpoles, which was a design I found online, which I thought looked really, really cool. So I have no idea who actually came up with that idea, but whoever I found, go you. You're a great person. Then moving down, we've got obviously the Nelson and Murdock sign outside the door. So this image you'll see on screen right now of Foggy and Matt, I thought it was just a really cute picture. You'll see that again later in the set because it is included elsewhere in this set, but I just thought it was a really nice way to show off the Nelson and Murdock sign, and you know, Foggy and Matt, they look great together. Then obviously another use of those 6x6 tiles, we've got the Fogwells Gym logo. I really like how this turned out. It looked kind of battered and old, because I mean the Fogwells Gym is not the most it's not the most high class establishment. So yeah, I think this looks really great. It's a really great look for the sign. It's very similar vibes to what I went for my Razor Cult Books store sign. And that turned out really well as well, so I just wanted to kind of replicate that idea. On the side of Fogwells Gym, you'll see some pretty cool posters. So there's two sets of posters on the side of the gym, and one of them is Crusher Hogan versus the Spider. So I found this poster, I think it's on Peter's wall in Spider-Man PS4, and I used the Season 1 CMF Wrestler minifigure and the most recent Spider-Man minifigure, and I just kind of created a little mock-up of the of that poster, and I was like, oh, I've got to include it, I've got to stick it on the side of Fogwells Gym. So that's just kind of promoting that fight. I like to include little Easter eggs and stuff like that. And then on the other wall, we've got the fight that battling Jack Murdock, Matt's dad, has in Daredevil. I wanted to put a few posters up there because I couldn't make Fogwells Gym without paying a little bit of an homage to battling Jack Murdock. The set is built up of a bunch of different brick textures. I love the Lego bricks that actually look like a brick wall. I love those. They look really great. I use them on my firehouse. So I've just used them again here. A lot of red. A lot of red for Nelson and Murdock. A lot of grey for Fogwells. But I have dotted in little bits of different colour because I wanted to make the building look a bit decrepit and not very well kept. We'll start on the roof, shall we? The roof of Nelson and Murdock. Obviously got that massive billboard, as I said before. It looks really great. But behind it, there's a small ledge section, which has a paintbrush and a bucket. I don't know, I just felt like there'd be people up there painting the billboard or whatever, so I just included that up there. It also gives like a nice space for a little perch for, as you can see, I've got some hand ninjas up here. So it's like a little perch for them to kind of strike. The roof is pretty basic other than that. We've got a few like coffee cups and bits of rubbish. I've dotted bits of rubbish all over the place in this set because it's Hell's Kitchen. I wanted it to look a bit dirty and not very well looked after. I mean, Nelson and Murdock, they're not the richest of folks, so I wanted to make it look as dingy as possible. It's also a really great place because it's an open area. I want it to be a place where you could pose minifigures. So as you can see here, I've got Luke and Iron Fist versus the Hand Ninja. And that was the original idea. I wanted to make this roof space like a great place to pose combat for minifigures, and it's the same with the roof of Fogwells. Now, the roof of Fogwells is equally as boring. There's nothing up here, except a bit of rubbish here and there. But it's a great place to pose Electra and Daredevil. I've put them here. I've got Daredevil swinging from a rope, because that's what his batons can do. And I just think that these top two places, I designed them so that you could fight with these minifigures. It's why they're exposed studs and stuff, so that you can have as much placement with minifigures as humanly possible. Okay, it's time to move down to the top floor. So one of the rooms we have here is Matt Murdock's bedroom. Now, I did some research. I was trying to base as much of this on the comics as possible and not on the Daredevil show. And I found an interesting image of Matt Murdock's apartment. I'll see if I can put it on screen for you, where he's got this really bright yellow carpet, so I wanted to include that here. And then I've also gone for a black and red colour scheme, just because it's Daredevil. You know, that's his classic colours, so I had to include that. His bed is a very simple build. It's just a bunch of tiles and slope pieces. Same with the armchair. It's a very boring build, but we've got a table, we've got an armchair, bed, a bedside cabinet with a cool build for a lamp. It's like a bowl, a white bowl, and then a stud, and they come together to make this nice little lamp. But something that I wanted to mention was this little crate that he has next to his table. Now, in that crate are two dark red batons and another recolored Daredevil torso. But this time, I've just basically gone straight recolor, taken all the light red out of the classic Daredevil we got in the Daily Bugle, and just replaced it with yellow. So it's supposed to be like his classic outfit, you know, the yellow suit. So that's what I meant by we've got sort of like an extra figure, because if you take the head of Matt Murdock and that yellow suit and then just put some yellow legs on it, bam, you've got the third Daredevil. They look really great together. Obviously, I'm showing you this image on screen now of all three of the Daredevils. They look really, really cool together. I must say, I think my favorite is the black one. The red one's really cool, but the black one has all the printing, so I really like that. But yeah, that's the secret third figure. I always like to do that. You saw it with my Nightwing and my Titans Tower. So yeah, I really like that part of the set. The other room we have on the top floor is Alias Investigations. Now, obviously on this door you can see we've got a clear door, and it says Alias Investigations on it. This is not the first time we'll see a door with some branding. But this is the Alias Investigations office. Inside, we've got a fair bit of stuff. Okay, we've got a desk, we've got a bunch of cabinets, some newspapers and stuff. The desk itself is just very, very plain. It's just kind of like tiles and regular bricks. The lamp is an interesting build. It's a 2x2 circular plate with a cone on top, and then a slope and a stud to make this cool like desk lamp sort of thing. And there's a laptop there, which is essentially the book piece that I think we first got it in Nexo Nights, correct me if I'm wrong. And that's in black, and inside, where there would usually be a page, I put a keyboard. So that's sort of like a little laptop build. I just wanted something to vary it up a little bit. Obviously, we've got a chair for Jessica Jones behind that desk, and then just so many of these filing cabinets. And I wanted to vary them up a little bit, so you can see on the left that one of them is actually pulled open, which was a really, really fun build. It's using those sort of like those plates with like another plate on the side sort of thing. I don't know how to best describe that. And it just makes it look like the drawer's been opened, which I really like. I think it makes a bit of variety in the set, and it makes the room look a bit more lived in. We've also got a Daily Bugle up top. I've got a few different newspapers dotted in. That's just one of the first ones. Okay, doke. Moving down, we've got a set of stairs which are actually built into the wall. If you look at the outside wall behind Mr. Fisk there, you'll notice that instead of some of the brick textures, I've actually done levels of 3 plates. Because obviously 3 plates is the same height as a regular Lego brick. So I used that to create like a different levels of stairs and stuff. So they're built into the wall, they're not going to fall down, and it kind of makes it look a bit more seamless, which I quite like. Underneath them, they've got just some brown plates as well, just for a bit, just to keep them sturdy. All of the interiors of this set are all plated on the floor, like flat tiles. I hate exposed studs. I only kept the exposed studs on the roof, once again, for that playability. But I like how smooth the inside of this set looks. That stairwell is basically, that's all it is. It's just a stairwell. But if you go into the next room, you've got a little waiting area for Nelson and Murdock. There's a couple of benches, there's a bin, and then there's just a few more newspapers scattered around. I wanted to make this look as hectic as possible. In my head, this is early days for Nelson and Murdock, and they've got they're really just overwhelmed by all the cases and all the garbage. I mean, Foggy is not a very clean person, as we know from the comics, so you'll see that in a minute as well. And then obviously we've got the door. Nelson and Murdock, attorneys at law. When I tell you that the most difficult part of this set was this door, it was painful trying to make it transparent and have the logos all match up and stuff. I have never felt more pain than when I made this door. This thing was a nightmare, and for some reason the render just for this one image took like an hour, so that was an absolute pain. But it's come out looking really good, really professional. It really looks like Nelson and Murdock. Inside the office, there's quite a lot of stuff. On the right hand side of the office, there's sort of like a kitchen area. We've got some hobs and some little cupboards, and there's a little kettle there on the left if they want to make a brew. And then on the far right, you'll see that image we saw before. It is a framed picture of Foggy and Matt on kind of like what I envisioned was their first day opening up. They've taken a picture with the plaque. And that's basically just built on a 1x1 snot brick, and then just using a 2x1 flat tile that's got some prints on it, which looks really cool. They've also got a little computer set up. The desk I really like, actually. It's got some like built-in drawers and stuff. They can't open like the other ones, but these ones, it's just kind of like some snot plates, which look really great. The lamp is built on a 2x2 jumper plate as well. And that's using just like a 1x1 cylinder, stud, and then that bowl once again, because I just think it creates like a nice look for a lampshade. The computer itself is composed of 3 elements. 1, we've got the keyboard, which is at Foggy's feet there. 2, we've got a kind of like a back stand for it, which is just a couple of 1x1s, snot bricks and stuff. And then we've got the actual screen for the monitor, which has actually got a few details in and of itself. So that's printed on, obviously. As you can see in the background of it, we've got the Nelson and Murdock Attorneys at Law logo. You've got a few little dots representing kind of like apps and stuff that you can click on the desktop. And I actually included as like a little thing that Foggy has open on the browser is a Daredevil cover. One of my favorite Daredevil covers. I wanted to pay homage to it in this set, so I just plonked it right here. And it's a really cool image of Matt Murdock with like devil horns drawn around him and stuff. I really like that. I kind of got it envisioned as like people are starting to figure out that Matt Murdock's Daredevil and whatever. I don't know. I'm gotten way too into the roleplay for this Lego. Once again, in the background, you can see some cartons of milk on the floor and old Chinese boxes and stuff. It's just like I wanted to make it look kind of like as dingy as possible. I mean, Foggy in the comics, they really make a point of him being like a really dirty person and not a very clean person. So I just wanted to have little bits of rubbish dotted all about the place. Next to the takeaway container, you can see a 2x2 brick and then a flat tile on top of it. Now, what this is essentially a box full of case files, and if we take a look at the other side of the room, you'll see that there's plenty to go around. On the right here, you can see 2 more of those bricks, but then on top I've actually got an open one of those like container bricks as well, which looks really cool, and inside it's just got like a wanted poster or whatever. Next to that we've got some newspapers, another takeaway carton and stuff. I just really wanted to make this room feel cluttered, because that's the vibe I got when I was watching the Daredevil show. Like, Nelson and Murdock always looks really, really cluttered. Next to that, we've got a little water cooler. I don't know why I put that there. I just thought it was a really cool build, so I just had to put it in. It's very simple. It's using one of those window pieces, but without the window pane. It's like a little slot for you to put your mug in. It's got some bricks and just standard 1x2s in the back. Then a jumper plate in the 2x2 circular, and then I don't even know what that brick's called, but it's all kind of inverted, and you just stick it into the hole in the middle of the jumper, which looks really cool. It makes like a really nice look, and the trans blue is just a really nice color as well. Next to that, way more case files, but then we've also got like an open one as well, and I wanted to make it look like the lid was falling off. So what I did was I used one of those hinge pieces, but it's like built into the floor so that you can't see it because it's surrounded by the boxes, so it just looks like the lid's sliding off the box, which I think looks really, really great. Finally, in this set, we have the interior of Fogwells Gym. Now, this was an interesting challenge, because I've never really had to build anything like this before. I decided to line the walls with those posters once again. I just wanted to make it look cluttered. I wanted it to look like a very busy sort of environment, like there's always going to be stuff hanging on here. So I've got the Spider-Man posters, taking up the majority of it, because it just seems like a really big event. Obviously, we've got that sort of like stand for all the weights, and for that I use different types of wheels. So I've got skateboard wheels and I've got roller coaster wheels to make it look like there's different levels of weight. Most of the floor is tiled, except there's a couple of jumper plates there in front of the punch bags in case you wanted to have a minifigure stood there to punch. The punch bags are using flagpoles and stuff to keep it upright, but it's also using those hook pieces so that if you actually like hit the punch bag with the minifigure or whatever, it'll shake, it'll dangle, it have physics, you know what I mean? It's not just stuck in place. So I really wanted to make that happen, so I figured the best way to do that would be with these hook pieces, and it's turned out wonderfully. The boxing ring, oh, I'm not sure about. It took me a while to figure out like a system that I liked. I think it was a space issue. Like I didn't build Fogwells big enough to fit it, but I still think it gets the vibe across properly. I wanted the gym to be a bit busier realistically, but I did the best with what space I had, and honestly, the boxing ring, I'm happy with. I think it looks kind of cool. I've used those snot bricks and a bunch of like bow staff pieces, and they just all come together to kind of create the ropes around the net, which looks really cool, and it's flat on the inside as well, so you can just pose a bunch of minifigures in there in whichever way you want. You're not hindered by studs. You've also got a couple of sets of boxing mitts in there as well, just because, you know, why not? It's a gym, why not? The outside of the build is very basic. The outside of Nelson and Murdock, it has like a little sort of air vent thing outside. I pretty much put that there to cover up some of the stairway so that it didn't look, so that it makes it look messy and not organized. I don't know how to explain that properly. So the vent's there, but it does make it look more realistic as a building. Obviously, we've got that wonderful Nelson and Murdock sign out there. We've also got some pipes running from the roof to the floor. Because, you know, it's got to have a drainage system. I don't know, it makes it look more busy and realistic. I don't know. And around the door, we've got those ingot pieces to kind of create like a brick texture to the outside of the door, which I think looks really, really nice. The actual pavement is, it's just a pavement. It's very similar to all my other builds that you've seen in the firehouse and stuff like that. It's very similar. It's very much just the kind of collector sets that we get for Daily Bugle. It's got a couple of jumper plates and stuff so you can pose minifigures on there as well, but it's nothing too special. Well, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to like and subscribe down below. It would really, really mean a lot to me. And tell me what your favourite part of this set is down below. Tell me your favourite figure or whatever. I'm always happy to hear it and hear any suggestions you have for future videos. Well, anyway, everyone, it's been a blast. I will see you later.